guys, it's Roscoe, and on Spacecraft 8 we're joined by my Virgin Blue 737 because very sad news, Virgin Australia, the successor company to this, has gone into administration. Obviously, like just about every other airline, they basically had suspended almost all flying, other than, say, for repatriation flights home, and I assume for essential freight services perhaps. But yes, they're now in administration. I believe 10,000 staff, and certainly 8,000 of them had been furloughed, or whatever term is used that describes that process, with the remaining 2,000. So who knows what will happen. They've been trying to get loans from the Australian government, or guarantees or whatever, and from the state governments as well. The federal government hasn't really been keen on the idea, and they have been getting some offers from the state governments. It's probably not enough. I know, for instance, basically they've put out their headquarters to be reassigned to whichever state will pay the most for it. I think Queensland has offered 200 million Aussie dollars for that headquarters, assuming the company survives. They obviously are hopeful of emerging from administration. Excuse me. But obviously that means there's going to be lots of cuts to everything, as well as all the stuff that's already happened. The max order that they have, I would be very surprised if they take any of those planes, because that's ripe for cancellation. In fact, and if they go bust, those orders are dead anyway. So Boeing would be willing to either defer or renegotiate. We shall see. But then obviously like pension contributions, what have you. But hopefully they will have a reorganisation plan rather than get liquidated, which would mean obviously the complete end of the brand. Obviously Virgin Atlantic is also facing a lot of problems. Richard Branson's put up his Caribbean island of Necker as collateral, if required, to secure these bailout fundings, whatever term is the correct one, for Virgin Australia and for Virgin Atlantic. No word on that yet if it's been successful. A lot of people pointing out the inconsistency of a billionaire asking for a bailout. But that's the thing about being a billionaire. It doesn't mean you've got all that in cash ready to hand to spend immediately. It'll be tied up in things like property and long-term contracts, bonds, what have you. They rarely have that much cash to hand, just as an aside. But obviously, holdings can still be liquidated if necessary. But obviously, I'm guessing he doesn't want to do that. He'd rather get the assistance from the government, as they're the ones with the deepest pockets. For how long, who knows. So, very sad news, because, I mean, I have to admit, I'm not that fussed about their current livery. They're all white, it's just so boring. But this was an absolute classic. And what was it? It was Pacific Blue, I think, was the Samoa or Fiji subsidiary that they had. And I'm sure there was another one for New Zealand, but I can't remember now. But there's about 3 or 4 different ones of these, and obviously this was the main one. The others only had a handful of planes. But yes, Virgin Australia in administration. It's a shame because I believe their 777s were 8 abreast. It's like, which is a very low density, because now they're 10 abreast in most of them. Or possibly it was 9, but even that is becoming quite rare these days. But yeah, I'm sure it was 8 abreast in their 777s. And the flights that would do to, say, South Africa, the west coast of the US, and the other places that they flew to. So that'll be a shame to see that go, because that would have been quite a comfortable ride, I expect, in economy. But yes, having flown this airline, I did really enjoy it. Obviously, the one I flew on didn't have the winglets. But yeah, fine. It's an hour from Sydney to Melbourne. It's perfectly acceptable. So there you go, guys. Just a little update. Let's hope that they can make it through, but there's going to be a load of airlines that don't, and maybe that'll be one of them. Who knows? Probably a lot of very famous names will collapse. But that'll just mean, in due course, there'll be a new entrant, a new competitor that will fill that void, although who knows how long that will take under the current circumstances. But anyway, guys, there you go. That's just the latest. Virgin Australia are very unfortunately in administration. Let's wish the staff all the best, because obviously I myself in that position, as it were, so I certainly empathise with all of the employees of that airline and everyone else in that situation. Please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this content. Leave me a comment or suggestion for a common topic you'd like to see discussed, or like the video.